Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a gardening friend. Okay, it feels like fall for now. We're in fake fall right now here in the North Texas area. However, even though we're in fake fall and we will get some warmer temps, there are no triple degree temps planned for weeks and weeks, or potentially at all for the rest of the year, which I'm really excited about. So we are in the front garden, and today we're really going to focus on, we're going to do a little bit of cleanup in here, and then we're going to really focus on planning out my fall borders. And we're going to be utilizing all fall annuals that I grew from seed. So it's going to be a really fun transition. We're going to be cleaning up some plants. We're going to be pulling out some of these lighter pink colors. We're going to pull some of those up. And we're going to clean up some of this area. And then I'm going to show you how I go in and I plan and I blend really beautiful borders, how to make beautiful soft borders in your garden. So we're going to work on 3 different techniques on how to blend the borders. So we're going to work on overlapping plants for a more natural flow, planting according to height, so planting taller at the back, shorter at the front, and planting by color stats. Which will really help soften and give it a nice look. I'm going to be utilizing a wide variety of plants in here, but I don't want it to look super choppy or blocked out in color or texture. I really want a nice, full, beautiful blend. We're not pulling out everything in the garden because I do want to utilize some of what's here because I've worked hard to grow it and it cost me a lot of money. So I don't want to waste that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you guys a closer up view on some of this. You're going to be sad on some of the plants that I may be pulling out. I know you guys are. But trust me, in the end, it's going to be beautiful, and I cannot wait to enjoy this for the next 10 to 12 weeks. Okay, so this area right to the left of my entry has been severely neglected. I really want to fill this with a lot of color. Coming over here, we have these blueberry tattoo vincas that I grew from seed. I want to leave those. I think the purples are great. We need to clean up these hellebore because they are starting to produce some new leaves down there, which is great. So we need to clean those up. We have a lot of weeds over here that need to be cleaned up as well. Now coming across the front, I want to remove this light pink, any of the light pink and white. I think I'm going to keep this medium dark pink and some of this dark pink over here. It ties back in with a lot of the tattoo vincas that I have that way. And I think I'll pull out the white vinca right there. Those light ones. I'm also going to pull out these Sunfinity sunflowers that have done not much of anything. And I'm going to clean up some of these phlox as well. So I think today what we're really going to start with, I think this is going to end up being a 2-part series. We're really going to focus on planting this portion, but I am going to show you how I'm going to go ahead and blend out some borders this way, but I'm not going to plant them today. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I cannot tell you how amazing it feels. We had a ton of rain yesterday. It feels so good out here. This is our cool front. So for the next few weeks, the highest we're going to get is like 91, 92, which I know for a lot of y'all that y'all are like, oh my gosh, that's so hot. I was like, that is not hot for this time of year for us. All right, so I've got a coleus here, but it's not the color coleus that I want. So that's going to come out. I'm also going to be doing some weeding as I'm looking around in this area too. I've got some Nepeta back here. I think I might cut that down a little bit. All right, and I'm going to pull out any of the light colored vinca. Now I could try to transplant these somewhere else. I'm just not going to. And this is a Sunfinity sunflowers. This is on my no-grow list for next year. It's very disappointing. But I think leaving in these hot pink vincas will actually be pretty stinking nice. Especially, I'm really thinking about putting my coral candy coleus right here. And I think that'll end up looking really, really good. Okay, this Nepeta is not looking great. Okay, so this is the point where my microphone apparently ran out of juice, and so apparently I'm just talking to myself during this gardening part. But I am basically coming in, I'm cutting back some phlox. This plant right here is that Calamintha nefita. It's blue marvelette, and I love it. Grew from seed, giving it a nice haircut so that it will reflush. I still have 12 more weeks of gardening. So there is plenty of time for it to reflush and give me some beautiful blooms. And I actually grew a lot more of this from seed for next year. Okay, this right here is a whole bunch of creeping Jenny that is spilling over from the containers and it is growing into the ground. So I was like, oh no. So I'm just going to cut back this Pinkadot phlox right here, which actually this is its third year and it was fabulous this year. Obsessed with it. Love it so much. But I'm going to cut this back and then by doing that, I should have better access to that creeping Jenny back there and you can kind of see it peeking out and I can pull that up and cut that back so that hopefully I don't have creeping Jenny all over my garden next year. Now, this shrub right here is actually a little quick fire hydrangea, and this is not its final location. I planted it here a couple of years ago. I don't think it loves its space here. It's eventually going to get moved to that new back garden I'm working on, but for the time being, I do not want this to be a major focal point of my fall garden. So I'm going in branch by branch, cutting it back, making sure to make a cut above a leaf node and just giving it cut back to basically get rid of the old dried blooms that are kind of meh right now. And then also to make it a little bit smaller of a shrub so it doesn't take over the whole look of the fall garden. Now here I'm just continuing to pull out the vinca that don't really fit with the color scheme, but I love the blueberry tattoo vinca, the purple that I grew from seed. I'm going to keep that around. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I definitely think it goes with the vibe of what I'm wanting for my fall garden. Okay, and here is a hellebore, and I'm just giving it a cut back, getting rid of anything that's brown or unattractive and making room for fresh growth. Okay, this is a dwarf Alberta spruce, and I planted this, I guess, gosh, 4 or 5 years ago now, and I've got one on either side, and I love it. I've also got some cone flowers back in here, and as I started cleaning out this spot, I started realizing that there was a lot of debris underneath the Alberta spruce, most likely debris that was probably utilized by some animal to create a nest or a place to live for itself. So I definitely think that's something that I need to be more aware of moving forward in this area. I also have some hellebore tucked behind this dwarf Alberta spruce. And a lot of people ask me how I'm able to grow it in full sun. It's because the spruce shades it in late afternoon, so it does not get a heavy amount of sun. Okay, so we've got this all cleaned out, looking good, and now the really exciting part is that we can go look at all the fall annuals that I grew from seed. I literally have my own personal little nursery on the back porch. So I am very excited because look at all this space that we get to fill in. So let's head to the back and get that checked out. Okay, so I'm pretty sure my microphone went out at one point, so I had to stop and charge it. But check this out, y'all. This is my back porch. And I grew all of these from seed. And so these have been acclimating to the weather, which is awesome. So I think today we're going to focus on some of these strawberry blonde marigolds. I think this coral candy coleus, maybe some of this mosaic coleus over here, a little bit of a darker tone. Oh, look, this is a perennial called Geum. I started from seed for my shade garden. That's so pretty. Tidy tips over here. Looks like they're starting to bloom. That one doesn't look very good, but we've got some other ones. Maybe we'll tuck in some tidy tips too. I think that's what we're going to start with, some of those. I'm kind of excited. So let me bring some of them forward. Got a lot of purple fountain grass too. Let me bring some of them to the front and we'll go from there. Okay, I had to charge my microphone and now the sun came out. Boo. Okay, so planning out the borders. First thing I do is clean up. Second thing I do is lay out plants. I don't plant anything until I've laid everything out and feel really good about where it's at. So technique number one for blending beautiful borders is to overlap plants. That's the easiest thing that you can do. What that means is you don't plant in straight, stiff lines. You let plants weave from one another. You let some of them come in front, some of them go behind each other. But instead of just having hard stops or hard barriers between plants, we let them drift in and out of each other. So how do we do that? We stagger the edges of the perennials or annuals so foliage softens the borders. We mix airy plants into denser blocks just to give it a light, airy, free-flowing feel. And this goes really well with the cottage-style gardening that I like to do. And this, why it works, it mimics nature. I mean, nature does not grow in stiff, hard blocks of color or texture. It's all blended. And so by just kind of mimicking nature, it really gets this technique to work for you. All right, so technique number two is planting according to height. What this means is to arrange plants in a tiered structure. So I wouldn't necessarily take my purple fountain grass and put it right towards the front unless that was for a specific purpose. You would want taller plants towards the back, lower ones towards the front. How to do this: tall plants like sunflowers, ornamental grass, salvias in the back, mid-level color like coleus, zinnia, rudbeckias in the middle, and short edging plants like marigolds, herbs, and vinca in the front. We've already got that a little bit established with the vinca, which is really nice. Why it works: every plant gets the sunlight it needs. Instead of having to be hidden or fighting with a taller plant that's in front of it. So that's what really makes that work. And then finally, technique number three is planting by color stories or color stats. So you want to group plants with intentional color harmony, and I've definitely done that with how I chose what plants to grow. Definitely in a lot of warm tones, which is going to be really nice. Stick with 2 to 3 main types of cohesion of colors like orange, purples, and chartreuses. My focus this year was red burgundies, oranges, and yellows, and I think that will all go lovely together. It's a blending of all the warm tones, which I think works well. Why it works: it creates a polished designer look even if you're using budget-friendly plants. So with those three techniques in mind, I'm going to go ahead and begin laying out these plants. And then once I've got them laid out to the way I want them, I'll talk to you about why they're placed where they're at. All right, first off, let's just take a minute to appreciate that I grew all of those from seed. So I basically just installed 3 flats of flowers into place. Now, I'm not looking for big, massive blocks of color. I'm looking for a soft, beautiful, blended border. So you're going to see that I don't keep all of one plant in one place. So basically, I started over here, and I've already got this existing coleus that I'd cut back midsummer, and it's really starting to fill out beautifully. And I want to tie in some additional coleus, so I put in some of this coral candy coleus right here, and then I mixed in some of the marigolds as well. Then continuing that story this direction, instead of just stopping there and keeping those there, I tucked in a few more of the coral candy coleus and a few more of the marigolds amongst these bright pinks, which I think is really pretty. I know that that's not a typical fall color scheme, but I think that looks really fun and nice. Back towards the back, looks a little messy, and they tend to be messier plants, so that's why they're towards the back. Those are the tidy tips, which will have kind of yellow, white, daisy-like feel, which I think will be really nice. And then the coral candy coleus will cover the base of them to make them look a little cleaner, because they are kind of a messy plant. So continuing with the softness of the marigolds, I bring the marigolds around the corner here so that we make sure that we're tying in all the way across the front of the border. And then we run into our existing blueberry vincas, blueberry tattoo vincas, and I tucked in some mosaic coleus, which is lovely, amongst that, and look how much it makes everything pop. So tucked in some mosaic coleus here, finishing off with a purple fountain grass. I might go get a little bit more mosaic coleus to fill in the base under the purple fountain grass. And then going over this way, continuing the mosaic over here, and then adding in, I think this is cherry chocolate. What is this? Yeah, chocolate covered cherry coleus, which is this bright pinkish burgundy color. So nothing is all one color in and of itself. Everything is mixed in and kind of overlapping each other. So we have the mosaic coleus, and it overlaps over here. And then we run into the marigold, which overlaps with the coleus. And then the marigold comes through, and it overlaps over the entire front portion of the border. And we've got the coral coleus that overlaps the entire portion of this front border as well. So I think that really adds a lot of color and texture. And these are going to be really pretty, and they're not even filled in yet, y'all. Now, I do have room back here that I'm not currently going to fill because I need to make some decisions on what I want to do on these containers, which will be happening this week. I don't know if I'm going to have something here, if perhaps I want to add another container right here. I don't know. So I got to think about it a little bit about what I want to do there. And then this direction, I know that I want to continue some of this marigold situation. So I think we're going to switch to primrose to marigold. And I think that what I'll end up doing is overlapping the front part of this coleus and taking those yellow marigold back here, back behind the tattoo vinca. And then I think behind that, I'll put a bunch of purple fountain grass, which I think will be lovely. But yeah, really feeling it, loving the color and texture, loving the cottage style. It won't be perfect. I think it's also going to be really fun. I'm going to tuck some pumpkins in this year, which I think will be lovely. I think it's going to look good. So let's get started planting. We're going to be utilizing plant tone in each of the holes as I dig them. And as I go along, I'll tell you about each of the varieties and all the details on them in case you would like to try them out. Chocolate covered cherry coleus is a variety featuring deep burgundy leaves edged in bright magenta, adding bold color to shade gardens or containers. It thrives in part sun to sun, reaches 18 to 24 inches tall, and is grown as an annual in most zones. Purple fountain grass is a dramatic ornamental grass with arching burgundy foliage and fluffy purple-red plumes. Grows 3 to 5 inches tall, thrives in full sun, and is hardy in zones 9 through 11, but used as an annual elsewhere. Norway mosaic coleus is a compact coleus with striking multicolored foliage splashed in red, green, and yellow. It grows 8 to 10 inches tall, making it ideal for borders or containers and prefers partial shade. Strawberry blonde marigolds are unique marigolds with soft pink, peach, yellow, bicolor blooms that shift in tone as they age. Plants reach 10 to 12 inches tall, thrive in full sun, and bloom continuously throughout the summer into fall. Coral candy coleus is a coleus that features coral pink centers edged with dark red and lime green margins. Compact at 12 to 14 inches tall, it thrives in sun to part shade and adds vibrant contrast to mixed plantings. Tidy tips are a cheerful annual wildflower with golden yellow petals tipped in white. Native to western U.S., it grows 12 to 18 inches tall in full sun and well-draining soil and attracts lots of pollinators. So it's later in the evening, it's almost 7 o'clock, and everything's still kind of weighted down by the watering. And I was looking at my coleus here, and I think I'm going to go in and I'm going to pinch the tops of these to allow for more branching, because these are definitely just growing straight up. So I'm just really just pinching right above a set of leaves, just like that. And I'm hoping that that will help these be a little bit more full over time. There, right there, right there. All right. But I think it looks nice. And I think it looks nice now, but I mean, these aren't even filled in. I'm planting them now. I'm really just hoping they're coming to fruition at the end of September, and I think that'll look really, really good. Really liking this combination of the Caradonna sage with the strawberry blonde marigolds. I think is lovely. These still look a little weighted down over here. I think it looks nice. I also really like this mosaic, fairway mosaic mixed in with the blueberry tattoo. And then I put that one grass right here so it'll be like nice and full right there. I think it'll be pretty. I didn't do one over here because I got a lot of hellebore right there, so I would have to dig out the hellebore. There's not really room. But happy with the finished product. Okay, feeling really good about it. This is definitely one of those situations with a YouTube channel for gardening where there is not instant gratification. I did not go buy all the big giant plants that are beautiful and large and gorgeous to put in the garden. I grew these from seeds starting in June, right? And they'll still need probably till mid to late, well, probably towards the end of September to really fill in nicely. But I really don't have any really like real cold weather until mid to late November, and that's a maybe. A lot of times I don't get any significantly cold weather until December. So there is a lot of time for these to really fill in and for me to really enjoy them over time. So I'm super excited. I think the next project I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on this trio of planters right here. And I'm going to really kind of work on how to utilize what's in there, pull out some things, leave some things, and then backfill with some additional fall annuals. I also feel like I want some collections of pumpkins, like just a big traditional orange pumpkins tucked in some places as well. Definitely think over here. I think there's some room over here, and I think that that'll be really fun to do that. And then of course we're going to go around the rest of the front of the garden. So really excited to show you all that. All right, you all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Seeing me actually get these in, talking about three different techniques for creating a blended, beautiful border. And technique number one, we were overlapping plants, which is really fun. Technique number two is we are working on height, so tallest at the back, shortest at the front. And technique number three, we were working with color schemes, color stories, and stats, which I think that really worked out here. The pink is a little oddball, but everything else is more of a warmer tone. I think it looks great. All right, you all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video and my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And check out my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. I've had a really great group that just joined. A bunch of new people just joined, which is really great. We started doing lives at the beginning of the month and at mid-month. My next live is September 24th. And so far I did a vote or a poll asking what patrons wanted to see, and they want to see new seeds that I've ordered. So that'll be really exciting to show and kind of chat about, but that's what's currently winning. We'll see. So if you're interested, check out the video link below. There's a free tier to join in under, and there are additional paid tiers. The higher up in the tiers you are, the more access you get, including participating in lives, as well as group chats, sharing photos, and exclusive videos only available to patrons. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.